Have you ever been lost? I recall a time when I was in Pittsburgh with a friend for a college football game. As we were leaving the stadium, we made the bold decision to disobey Google Maps because we apparently knew a better route out of the city. As you can probably guess, we quickly found ourselves in an unsafe part of town, and we very quickly relied on Google Maps to get us going in the right direction. The Bible uses the term lost to describe those who don't have a relationship with Christ. At one point or another in all of our lives, we believe that we know the best route to take in life and rely on our own wisdom and guidance to get us through life's many trials. When was the moment where you realized that you were lost and vulnerable? When did you realize that you needed help and direction in life? You may be watching this video and you may still be driving lost and in the wrong place. Maybe you know a change is needed but aren't quite to the point of giving up control of the steering wheel. There is good news. Having a relationship with God provides direction and meaning to your life. Let me tell you a little more about this. First of all, did you know that you were created to have a relationship with God? Colossians 1:16 says that for in Him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through Him and for Him. That means you. From the moment you were conceived, you were created to have a relationship with God. You were created to have an unhindered relationship with Him. However, we all know that there's something standing in the way. Secondly, a relationship with God is one that you don't have naturally because of sin. Sin is when we go our way rather than God's. Sin is missing the mark of perfection that God has put in place for us. Because none of us are perfect, we are all guilty of sin, according to Romans 3:23. Because God is holy and can't be in the presence of sin, this creates a divide between us and God. If the story ended now, it would be quite depressing, wouldn't it? It doesn't stop there. The next point is that a relationship with Christ is one that we can have because of Jesus. There is nothing you can do to bridge the gulf of separation between you and God through your best attempts at doing right or turning over a new leaf. No, your relationship with God could only be reconciled through the undeserved death and the ultimate resurrection of Jesus, the perfect Son of God. 2 Corinthians 5:21 tells us that God made Him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in Him we might become the righteousness of God. We can have a relationship with God because of Jesus' sacrifice on the death and resurrection from the dead. Lastly, this is a relationship that you must choose to have. You must choose to deliberately turn from your way of living and live the way God commanded us. Romans 10:9 and 10 tells us, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe that you are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. While Christ has done everything necessary in order to restore your relationship to God, it is not automatically applied to all. You must choose it. Have you made this decision? If you have, how can you use these 4 points to share the gospel or good news with others? If you have been on the receiving end of God's grace, He wants you to extend it to others. If you haven't made this decision yet, why wait? Pray something like this from your heart to God's ears. God, I believe that you desire a relationship with me. I understand that my sin has separated me from you. I believe that Jesus came to the earth, went to the cross, rose from the dead so that my relationship with you could be restored. Today, I turn from my way and choose to trust in Jesus as my leader. If you just prayed that prayer, you have now crossed from death to life and have experienced salvation from your sins. Get plugged into a local church to begin taking your next steps in faith.